Well, the Tipperary ladies footballers start their National League campaign this Friday night against Cork, in Cork. And joining us now along the line to look forward to the game is Tipperary Manager Declan Carr. Declan, how are things?
All good, round to go, kind of mad for action after this long layoff that we don't want to be talking about. We're back at it, so can't wait for Friday evening and kind of see where we are. But we haven't really, got too many games under our belt, but I presume Cork are the same way. So it'll be an interesting, outing and a first outing, but really looking forward.
Yeah, because you said once you were announced as manager, it was like we are looking at a Christmas present under the tree. But I'd say you never thought it would take that long to actually open up the presents and get the girls onto the training field.
No, and I don't know the kids at home be as good waiting this long, because it was a slow torture here, for the last 4, 5, 6, nearly 6 months, but for certainly 4 or 5 months. And when we started, it was kind of going on thinking, well, we'll be out in March and it'll be okay in March, and then it'll be okay in April. But anyway, look, we got there in the end, and in the scheme of things, it's not life or death, but it was a long wait. It was really a long wait, and the girls were great. They were doing a lot of individual sessions on Zoom, and our S&C man, Paddy Lowry, was a great man to keep them going and keep them motivated. But those things run their course as well, as you know, Tom. They're short-lived, and we got a good bit of work done, but we were at a point where we needed to get back on the pitch, and thankfully we did. So look, we're here now, and we'll make the best of it.
Yeah, training is going well the last few weeks.
Training has been brilliant. It's probably just an extension of what they were doing individually. They turned up for I got a shock on the first Tuesday night that we were back. There was such intensity at it, and it was like that they hadn't been kind of away, or the break was there. They were all full butt for it. We did. You would tend to pick up a few niggles because of it, because regardless what intensity you try to create on your own, training on your own, you can't replicate that group session. So when we came back the first week or two, we had 1 or 2 little niggles with different girls, but a good few of them, a good deal of them have now cleared up. So we're kind of heading the right way. Ask me, would you like another bit of time? Of course I would, but we're as good as we can be for Friday night. So look, one thing we'll do is we'll be competitive.
Yeah, you seem to have assembled a fairly strong panel too.
We have a very strong panel, and we have some new girls found. We believe that will add to it. We have our 2 ladies and our 2 athletes in Australia. Unfortunately, Ashton is injured at the minute, and we have those to look forward to coming home at some point in the summer. So the signs are good. Again, to be really honest about it, and there's no point, we won't know till we're out there, but we're pitching ourselves against the best teams in the country. We're in well, I would consider the tougher side of the league draw, which is great. No complaints from me on that one, but at least we will know kind of where we stand in terms of, being able to go shoulder to shoulder with the best.
Yeah, because like even last year, I know this is your first year, but last year they showed that they could compete. Like when they come up in 17 after winning the Intermediate All-Ireland, and they weren't too far away. They were probably unlucky to get relegated, and come back and won again in 19, won another All-Ireland, and they were very unlucky last year in a couple of games. So the experience is there. Like it is a young panel, but it's a very experienced panel.
Absolutely, and I suppose I'm always on record, after taking over from Shane, there was nothing really broken, and it was just to get some marginal improvements. And they have been, like when they came up in 17, they were really good and really competitive, but possibly young and a little bit inexperienced. And you can see that beginning to mature and grow with them. And even though, as you said, stating the obvious, they're still a young panel and a young team, they're getting wise and experienced in terms of playing hours. So again, if we can just bring up that another couple of percent, I think we'd be on the right side of some results, because some of the games, as you pointed out, were down to the wire. So, and then there's, you need breaks, and you need the bounce of the ball, and you need all that. But that'll come, because the effort and work rate that they're putting in will be rewarded at some stage.
Yeah, and you've a new captain as well. Was Aisling an obvious choice, or had you to think long and hard over a few different candidates?
Well, I suppose even when in the announcement of it, I was quite honest when you have a team with the experience that the Tipp ladies do, and having won what they've won, there's always going to be 3, 4, 5 girls that are certainly very, very credible candidates for it, and I'm sure it probably would have disappointed a couple that would certainly have been able to do the job. But for me, Aisling does her talking on the pitch in terms of her contributions. And I've really noticed, I suppose, this year that, and in past, I've only been from the outside looking in, but she's bringing young players with her. She's bringing them into games. She's making them better players. So for me, she was an obvious choice in that regard. And she also, had a long look and think about her own contributions, because she felt trying to do maybe the camogie and the football, which is great, but it's very, very tough at the level that they're competing at. So when she committed fully to football, I suppose that she was really, really taking her football serious. And I'm not suggesting she didn't take it serious in the past, but for me, it made the choice easier. It just made that choice easier. And to be honest with you, I think she's within the first even 24 hours of being named the captain, she's really got off to a flying start. So I'm very comfortable and very confident that it's a good call, and I think Aisling will be excellent for both the team and for Tipperary football.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to be there for a couple of your trainings. We've done a bit of work with you there over the last couple of weeks, and she does seem to show good leadership. She seems to be the first one there every evening for training, and as well, so she's showing leadership there.
Absolutely, and what she does do quite effectively, she brings a balance of everything, and a balance of enjoyment, bit of fun, and then when we need to be serious, she can be quite serious, and when we need to be intense, she can be intense. So it's just getting that combination right. But for me, the biggest attribute of any captain is that it's the team is the I suppose the most important thing, and I watch her bringing on players with her, and she has made no secret of the fact that she wants the team to improve, and she really kind of is engrossed and bought into what we're about. So to date, it has been for me seamless to date. So I expect she'll really do a good job.
Yeah, and looking ahead to Friday evening now against Cork, how are you on injuries? Have you full bill of health?
We haven't a full bill of health, unfortunately, but the severity, if I could answer it like this, the severity of the injuries we have they're not critical. So I'd be hopeful by training on Tuesday evening that a lot of those niggles would have cleared up. The backroom team, the lads, Aidan, Paddy's doing work with them. So they're getting the best of care and the best of advice, and we'll give them the attention. So I'd be hopeful by Friday we'd certainly have 95 or 98% of the panel available to us for an input into the game. So we have a few injuries, and I wouldn't lie to you, but I don't honestly see that we would be without somebody on Friday night. I think, as I say, nearly all of them will be okay, I believe, and we'll know more on Tuesday night.
Yeah, and obviously Cork are one of the kingpins there of ladies football the last few years. They won't be simple, but these are the matches you want to be up against.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, no question about that, because for us, I think the ladies in Tipperary over the last long number of years have been really steadily improving, and the last 4 or 5 years have shown that. And I do genuinely believe that we can go to another level, and to be there, there is no point in us, kind of. We need to play these teams, and we need to understand if they are, 3 or 4 points better than us on a given night, why that is, because it's certainly not down to commitment, and it's not down to physical attributes. There is other bits of learnings, and maybe it's the thought process or the speed of thinking. But we need to play these teams to find out what that is, and when we do, then we can move on again and move up again. So I'm delighted, and I mean that sincerely, that we're meeting the Corks and Waterfords and Dublins. And there's another 3 or 4 good teams. I'm not writing anybody off. I'm only saying that it is good to pitch yourself against the best.
Yeah, and of course, we've seen what way Friday evening matches opened up a whole new audience last year. And obviously, this Friday evening, with no other games on to look at, it's going to open up another huge audience for ladies football again.
Absolutely, but and credit to yourselves. I think that women's sport is on the cusp of a bigger explosion, and it's getting the recognition that it deserves, and it's getting the kudos that it deserves. The commitment that's given by these is absolutely of no difference than what the guys would have done or are doing. And I think that, to be fair, to watch ladies football the way it's played, I don't run the risk, I'll say it anyway, it's way more entertaining than the men's football. Because they're attack minded, they're really full time on the go, fully committed. There's no go back in them. So I think the likes of next Friday night, with the exposure they're getting from yourselves, and the game is on TV, things like that can only prosper for ladies sport, but it's no more than what they deserve.
Yeah, because as you said, they're putting in as much commitment as what the men are. So they deserve as much exposure, if not more, because they are highly elite athletes, every one of them.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. There's, when you look at, we collectively meet, maybe on a Tuesday and a Friday and a Sunday morning, but they would have a program for something to do on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They might have one day off. So it's not even what they're doing collectively. Like, they are bought into this requirement, or what's required to play for your county. They're bought into it fully. So they're nearly, I won't say they're full-time athletes, but they're certainly definitely doing something in relation to their own development, 4, 5, 6 times a week. And that's a massive, massive commitment, while trying to, get a college degree or hold down a job or whatever that looks like. It's a massive commitment. And and you hear no complaints. What I have found, you call training, what time is training, that's all, that's accepted. We'll train again, and no problem. So they're willing to commit. So for me, they deserve everything they get. And I hope that, this explosion that I do expect in ladies sport, I hope it comes sooner rather than later. But the more exposure, as I say, that it gets, and the more higher profile, that'll all come soon then.
Yeah, but as you said, they are getting the exposure slowly but surely that they get, and more power to them, and long may it last. Declan, thanks very much for coming on the show. Wish you the best of luck Friday evening, and wish you the best of luck for the rest of the year, and hope to be talking to you again soon.
Absolutely, and looking forward to it. And thanks for your support, and we'll all be hoping for the right result on Friday evening, but we'll be really competitive anyway.
No matter. Thanks a million, and we'll talk to you again soon, Declan.